The principle of sufficient reason is the origin of all concepts and principles. It is both transcendent and immanent. It is the faculty of principles, the maker of principles. All principles derive from it and are tautologies of it. It is the faculty of the unity of the rules of understanding which operate under principles. The PSR can never lead us to error and contradiction. The PSR, of course, lies beyond sensory experience, but not beyond the reach of reason and logic, of which it is the source. The PSR serves as the ultimate basis of everything that exists, and the universe as a whole. It furnishes the unity of everything. How can we know that every object and event conforms to causal laws, and that these laws held in the past and will continue to hold in the future? It's thanks to the PSR, which is eternal and necessary and is the root cause of all effects. Kant, an enemy of pure reason, claimed that reason is justified in adopting rational principles so long as it does not treat these as knowledge claims. In fact, they are the purest knowledge claims you can get. It was what Kant regarded as knowledge that didn't make the grade as genuine knowledge. Kant drew a distinction between constitutive and regulative principles. Constitutive principles concern objects of possible experience. Regulative principles concern how we try to grasp total reality, but offer no constitutive guarantees about the objects to which they refer, i.e., these may not be objects of possible experience, in which case they cannot provide actual knowledge in Kant's estimation. As usual, Kant was wrong. It's regulative principles which determine what can be constituted. The ultimate regulative principle is the PSR, the basis of ontological mathematics from which all existence are constituted. Kant believed that metaphysics cannot establish a secure ground for knowledge. He failed to understand that mathematics, the true metaphysics, can and does. Kant said that reason has claimed knowledge it cannot possess. This is absurd. It's unreason which claims knowledge it cannot have. Much of Kant's philosophy was opposed to reason, hence was, by definition, defending unreason. Kant was an irrational empiricist and an irrational person of faith. He believed that experiences were the acid test of what is real, even though he claimed that ultimate reality is in fact unknowable and cannot be experienced. Experiences don't tell us anything about knowledge. If they did, all humans and all animals would be geniuses, given how many experiences they have had. Experience in itself has nothing to do with knowledge. Knowledge is what you get from applying concepts to percepts, and above all, concepts to concepts. Kant believed that knowledge of the world as a whole, or of entities that transcend this world, such as the immortal soul or God, is not humanly possible since, Kant insisted, it is not possible via experience, and reason has no power to supply knowledge in its place. This view is pure irrationalism. How can anyone claim that reason does not provide knowledge, while irrational subjective experiences do? All ultimate knowledge is furnished by the PSR, which is conveyed ontologically by mathematics. Adopting the empiricist stance, Kant believed that knowledge is revealed through the senses. The senses, unfortunately for Kant, are not organs of truth. They are limited, fallible, unreliable, and delusional. No one has any clue what the senses are really showing us. Nothing sensory explains itself. We have to apply interpretations and hypotheses to what we detect with the senses. It's this secondary process, not sensing in itself, which constitutes knowledge. And it's because this secondary process is, in the absence of mathematics, as dubious as sensing itself, that so many people believe so many different things about reality. Kant said that we fall into error if we think reason can know a world beyond the senses. In fact, we fall into error if we don't think that. You must transcend the senses if you want to access ultimate knowledge. Kant's entire philosophy was an attack on Leibnizian philosophy. The trouble for Kant was that Leibniz was right and Kant wrong. The mind can arrive by pure thought at the truth of ultimate reality, because pure thought is mathematics. Thought can work out what reality is, only when thought can work out what thought is. And it then understands that thought is reality, and thought is mathematics. Kant believed, along with science, that only objects of experience can provide knowledge. In fact, they can only be objects of experience. Knowledge, authentic knowledge, is conceptual, not perceptual. To perceive something is not to know it. If that's what knowing is, just looking at the world would furnish us with knowledge. It doesn't. You can look at the universe forever and never reach any knowledge of what the universe is. Hegel demolished the senses as a source of knowledge with his analysis of sense certainty, the number one most important consideration for empiricists. Hegel wrote, "Because of its concrete content, sense certainty immediately appears as the richest kind of knowledge. Indeed, a knowledge of infinite wealth for which no bounds can be found, either when we reach out into space and time in which it is dispersed, or when we take a bit of this wealth, and by division enter into it. Moreover, sense certainty appears to be the truest knowledge, but in the event, this very certainty proves itself to be the most abstract and poorest truth. All that it says about what it knows is just that it is, and its truth contains nothing but the sheer being of the thing. All that sensing tells us is that we are sensing something. Big deal. Supernatural matter. Some people believe that explanations which do not involve matter are supernatural. In fact, material explanations are themselves supernatural. How can lifeless matter produce life? There's nothing natural about that. How can mindless matter produce mind? What's natural about that? How can temporal and contingent matter come into existence in the first place? You can't get existence from non-existence. That's Logic 101.